Hi, welcome to Tea Time with the Titans. Grab your mugs, put your pinkies up because the tea is about to be spilled. I'm Nick Curran.
I'm Gabby DeGeorge.
And I'm Leanne Licata.
And today we're going to be talking about framing in today's news media.
So to frame is to select some aspects of a given story and to make these aspects more urgent in a way that it promotes a particular view or interpretation of the story. So everything goes into framing except for facts.
Is not telling people what to believe, it's just telling them what to think about.
So with that being said, the three frames we'll be discussing today is the framing of word choice, framing of the Hungarian government and police, and the framing that refugees are perceived as threats, and discussing the difference between illegal immigrants versus refugees.
So basically when I was reading the article, I know me and you had the same articles, Anger at the Border Fence by Sydney Herald, which was a great article. So basically, just like the first one that really stuck out with me, I only saw one specific framing when I was reading it, and it was word choice. And like the wording was just very aggressive in this article. It felt like I was reading more like a war scene than like maybe like something about refugees trying to get to safety. So like, in the story, the Hungarian police were equipped with water cannons, shields, pepper spray, tear gas, things like that, to break up a riot, not a peaceful protest. And that's where things sort of went wrong.
No, yeah, I mean, I agree. Miller even stated in the article that he said the pitched battle lasted an hour or more, ebbing and flowing. So, like, they're saying it's a battle, it's not just, like, people trying to peacefully come over.
So one of the articles that I actually found really interesting was one that said the Hungarian border guards were taking selfies, and the title was literally Hungarian border guards selfies. So that's basically like the word choice. They're getting right to the point. They were taking selfies after beating up the refugees. They were just taking pictures of them, like laughing, like having a good time basically, and that really intensifies to frame that the incident is just really bad, but they're making it like light of it. They're like, oh, like yeah, like they were joking around, like taking pictures.
Also had word choice and the framing of the Hungarian government. I think that's really cool. So then with the last article, it actually has all three frames, which I actually really liked, and how it tied everything together. It was written by The Guardian, and it's called Hungary Poll, They've Brought Evil Out, which was very interesting title and word choice.
Yeah.
So just starting off with word choice, which was very common throughout all three articles. The title of this article is similar to the previous article, or other articles as well. It's not in all caps or bold writing, which was very weird throughout to see, because I know one of the articles was in all bolds and caps. The title is very important in this article because the word choice is interesting in the fact how they use the words evil and divide a nation, which are both very impactful words. The phrase divides a nation gets the reader to understand that people have different views on the certain situation at hand.
Oh yeah, the framing also showed that the refugees were perceived as threats. That also went along with the word choice. It was how they framed the story, and they, instead of being victims in this article, it was the opposite view, which I thought was interesting. The article definitely like took a different approach to the villain and victim frame.
That's this article also, like this, I talked about the framing of the government. The Hungarian government just felt like it's like the villain frame. Like they were saying, like they think that 4 out of 5, they took a survey, young Hungarians say that the state is riddled with corruption, and more than half of it have encountered it themselves, and that's clearly being portrayed obviously on the refugees. The country is not transparent to its citizens, and it's almost using the migrants as a way to divert the attention, which either way the situation is very, very sad.
So after just discussing all the articles, just to wrap things up and reiterate, so framing theory is achieved by presenting content in a way to guide an audience's interpretation almost about the information. And to almost like frame is to select certain aspects in the story and make them more urgent in a way, and sort of like drill it into the reader's mind and promote a certain viewpoint of the story.
So like these articles that we mentioned in the frames, these frames can influence the readers and has a way of influence their emotions on opinions on the topic or article that they're reading, and the 3 frames that we presented Framing of word choice is seen throughout the articles as sparking a lot of anger and raising concern. The framing of the Hungarian government and police is framed in a negative light, again raising concern, angering citizens, and also having citizens have doubt in their political system, which isn't good. And lastly, the framing that the refugees are framed as threats raises fear.
So that's the tea for today. Tune in next week for another video. Like and subscribe in the description box below. And that's all.